There are 3 things that the art we end up making and loving the most have in common. A sense of time, pressure, and risk. The art we love the most is the art that we've given time to. And that probably sounds really obvious right now. We assume that the more time that we devote to something, the better and more satisfying it should be. It's not so much about how many hours you can log on a single painting. It's not about making the time to complete every painting you begin. It's about valuing the time you do have, even if it's 5 minutes. It's realizing how valuable time is, and that even 5 minutes with your paint and your brushes and your paper has so much to teach you. It's believing that even those small amounts of precious time that you can carve away from your day are certainly worth your effort. Your painting doesn't beg you to be done, especially in one sitting. She'll wait for you. That's right, your art just wants to be remembered and come back to. The role that pressure has in your art making is twofold. First, and this is a lesson I wish I'd learned sooner, understanding how impactful the pressure you apply to your brush and onto the paper is beyond measure. Now don't laugh, but brush bristles, they beg you to be teased. Your brush is daring you to learn the nuance of pressure and how it can literally transform your art. Your brush can dance, swirl, bounce, or stomp. It's all up to you. All your brush asks of you is to take the reins and push the limits of what's possible. We're joy chasers here, so the next aspect of pressure and how it plays into our art may seem a little counterintuitive, but stick with me. We do our best creatively when we put a little pressure on ourselves. So what does that look like? We paint even when we're stressed or overwhelmed because we know that ultimately it will calm us down. It's putting pressure on ourselves to build new habits, so pressure now is ultimately traded for freedom later. When you take a leap as you're painting, your artwork almost always rewards you for it. And risk. How does risk play into our most successful moments in art making? Being attracted to risk taking in your art makes you even more susceptible to happy accidents and unexpected moments that turn your brushstrokes, your effort, into magic. So what does risk taking look or feel like? For me, it's usually just a little stirring in my soul, a little tickle that says, this is crazy, but you need to try it. It could be so good. When I'm on the verge of taking a risk, I feel a little uncomfortable, but it's the kind of uncomfortable that's laced with excitement. And finally, I know I'm about to take a really good risk when I inevitably think to myself, I could totally ruin this painting, but I want to try it anyway. The nice thing about risk in art is that it compounds on itself. Here's what I mean. You start to take small risks and they work out. You get braver and your risks get more intense and more valuable as your experience grows. Georgia O'Keeffe said something along the lines of, I've been absolutely terrified most of my life, but it never stopped me from doing anything. Now you're probably wondering, okay, Kristy, I hear you, I'm with you. But what in the world do I do when I take a risk and it flops? I got you. Watch this video next, and I'll show you how to revive a painting that went south and fast. Happy painting, friends.